Today we're talking about the dark night of the soul. And it is a moment in our spirit, physical world. Physical world, we're having a dark night of the soul appear to be the loss of a very dear loved one, a loss of a job, a loss of a marriage or divorce. It could be a moment when things just seem to be crashing all around us and life is just crumbling, okay? Physical things taking place so that we go inward to spiritually question what our purpose is, why we're here, what the journey is trying to show up for us, how it's trying to show up for us, and what it is trying to show us so that we can learn. The dark night of the soul is oftentimes when people have big, huge spiritual transformation. They remember their power. They remember their gifts. They remember that they're abundant, that they're automatically worthy, that they are perfect without having to go seek it and find it and work for it. Okay? The dark night of the soul is something that can happen multiple times during one's life's experience. It is not something that we like to call upon, though. Let's be honest. I remember my own dark night of the soul, and it was in 2000 and I believe it's 2010 to the no 11 2012. Yep, 2012 feels good. 2012. And my dad had been diagnosed a second time with testicular cancer that had gone into the lymph nodes in his stomach. They had to do some pretty gnarly surgery, really gnarly surgery this time around. My business at the time was daycare. My son Jake was only and 2 or 3 at the time, and I wanted to stay home. I really wanted to be there with him and still provide for our family. So I decided to do an in-home business. And here, there's thriving personal in-home businesses. There's thriving centers as well. I was licensed with the state. I was affiliated with the enrichment program here that would, take calls from families and direct them, to a provider in their area. Nothing was happening. Everyone was full, but nothing was happening. My dad had been fallen sick. I had a falling out with my best friend, whose daughter was also in my care, and she decided to part ways and go to a daycare facility rather than have an in-home facility. And it was one of these moments when I remember very clearly what it felt like. I remember very clearly how I begged at that time. That's when my spiritual journey started. But at that time, it was God, Source, Universe, Almighty Being, man upstairs, pulling all the strings, like, stop punishing me. What is this supposed to be? This can't possibly be what life's like. I can't do this. This is way too hard. Woe is me. I can't do anything else. Somebody's punishing me. Somebody's doing this deliberately. It's everybody else's fault. Huge victim energy. Huge insecurity, lack of confidence, lack of support of oneself. And I remember laying on the bed, just crying, move me, shift me, do whatever you have to do. I can't do this anymore. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. I thought following my heart and staying at home to raise my son and be with my daughter, that's what felt so great, that's what would make me happy. I'm not happy. We had just moved in. My husband and I had just moved into a new house, and it was bigger than the one that we sold. And I thought this was going to be amazing. This is great. Nothing was working. I was so frustrated. I was restricting so much energy. My emotions, I was depleted. I wasn't connected to my inner being. It was a really, really hard space. And I remember surrendering. I'm done. Like, I'm done. I don't know what else to do. I need help. Please send help. Tears flowing. Send help. It was, as I channel back on it, and as I write my book, it was the turning point. It was the moment that the guide said, finally, you allow us in. Finally, you acknowledge you are not here by yourself. Finally, you acknowledge that there is a co-creative process that is naturally occurring, that you are restricting, that you are not tuning in and allowing to have some say. Awesome. Allow us in now. Within 2 weeks, my husband received notice from his, I guess they call it HR or something like that. I'm not quite sure. He's active duty military. That he was being offered a position in Colorado Springs. And he gave me a call and said, hey, I got 24 hours. We don't need to talk about this. We don't need to make a decision. Let's go. Go, 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 go. This feels so good. Let's go. And we made the decision to move from New York with our family, my daughter and my son Jake at the time, to go to Colorado Springs and to have this huge shift in our physical environment, but also, unbeknownst to me, what would then lead to a complete shift in spiritual development, spiritual transformation. And it was something that if I hadn't gone through it, I would not be where I am right now. If I had not surrendered, if I had not thrown my hands up. Remember, at that point, I had no clue what was going on. I had no understanding to the degree in which I do right now. There are a lot of intuitive beings and psychics that are tuned and tapped and turned on from birth. They know their gifts, or they might not know what it is, but they're linked to it. And so as they grow and they learn, they come to understand more about it. And it's like, oh, I've been doing this all along. Then there are those of us who have not witnessed their power, have not in the abilities area, have not claimed their gifts, worked at their gifts, developed their gifts, practiced their gifts, trusted their gifts. And it starts from something like a dark night of the soul. And that's exactly what took place for me. Meditation started happening. There were spiritual teachers that I started to look to and follow and allow myself to be guided and coached by. Michael Beckwith was one, T.D. Jakes, Gabby Bernstein, of course, Abraham Hicks, forefront, Abraham Hicks. And this is when I started feeling my way differently. Feeling your way differently is different than following directions. Let's put it that way. When we follow directions, there's a point A and a point B, and you do this, 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 and you get to point B. When we feel our way through something, we really sit with what feels good and what feels not so good, and we start learning the process of trusting oneself towards the good things. Colorado was a breath of fresh air. Colorado was expansion like I had never experienced until that point, that thus far. It was where like-minded people started to just come into my experience, and we had these meetings. There were meetings with the metaphysical community, and I would go and I would learn from them. I mean, I was a sponge soaking all of this up. And this was the first time, and through meditation, that I heard my guides. It was the first time through meditation that I could start to see the energy and feel the energy and connect to the energy of money and abundance. Everything started shifting and changing as I allowed myself to experience that dark night. The dark night gives way to the bright day that dawns. That's the next stage. That's the next experience. It's what allows us to reclaim our power and where we give it away to anxiety, to worry, to fear, it feels like sometimes grief as well. Very much can be very much grief as well, because we are feeling, while we might not be aware of it, a dying off of sorts. We begin to really feel this grief around the shifts or the changes. Sometimes change comes in with that energy of mourning or of grief, because we have to make things different. And most people they're not, yay, we're changing, this is amazing. Most people get really intimidated by it. They feel threatened by it. Change doesn't often feel good, but it's not supposed to. What happens when we change? We cannot go back to the way it was before. A dark night experience sheds this shadow aspect that's been at the forefront of us. We've allowed the ego to have it say long enough, where the soul is like, we can't keep going down this path. You didn't come here to go down that path. You came here to remember more about who you are. You came here to be enlightened, but you can't be enlightened unless you have these periods of darkness that create this OMG moment of having to go inward. You know what you're not aligned with when you have these moments. You know what you no longer want to have in your world when you have these moments. It feels like emotional pain. It feels like physical pain because we really truly are being asked to shed, to shift, and to step up and to step out differently than what we had been showing up as, or deciding to venture off to, right? We have nope, come back. We all came here to make a very big impact. There's a purpose for every single soul here on earth. Sometimes we come into this life knowing exactly what we're meant to do, or really feeling tuned into it, right? I don't know why, but I just do. I don't know why, but I just do. I don't know why, but I just do. There's others that I don't know why, and they stay there, and that I just don't know, and I don't know, and they give way to sabotage energy, victim energy, fear energy. But your soul is overseeing you from that grander space above you. The more of who you are is in spirit form. It's not in physical form. So you've got, let's think of it this way, if we were to give you percentage, 75% pure positive awesomeness up here, helping the 25% of you in the body maneuver. That 75% of you is already aligned to all the awesomeness that you desire. There's no getting that 75% on board. It's been there. It's trying to get you on board. It's already light years ahead. It's trying to get you through this one life's experience. That's exciting. That means there's just 25% of me. And if you think about it in the way of balance, we're 75% yay, 25%, I don't know about this. There's just a little bit of you that has to get on board. And once you do, and it's aligned, holy moly macaroni. The physical outlet card is all about purging from the heart the things we think we don't deserve, the things we think we're not worthy of, the things we think we're not loved about, the things we're not trusting, the things we don't believe, the things that we are not allowing ourselves to receive because we are sabotaging ourselves or giving our power away. The sacral chakra is all about getting creative and birthing into the experience what already is rightfully yours. It's already yours. The 75% of you already has it. Been there, done that, achieved it, accumulated it, mass amounts of it. It's there, 75% already all up there. It's just a matter of you transforming, changing, purging, shifting, expanding by way of letting go of what no longer serves you so that you can bring the more of you in. You have to bring the more of you in to get the more that you want in the physical world. Did you hear me? You have to let more of you in to receive the more that you desire in the physical world. You can't be 2 years ago Jackie and then have more of now happening. It just does not line up. Would we all sign up or get on the bus that says, I haven't been purging for quite some time and I haven't been doing a lot of inner work. And so because I have not done this, sorry, she's climbing everywhere. Go back. Because I have not done this, I've decided to get on the bus and do it all at once. The all at once bus, rather than the easy does it, little at a time bus. And some people chose to do this because they've got big, huge impacts that are going to be had because of their experiencing of this. So they decide to get on that bus that says, shit's going to hit the fan all at once. And by it doing that, I am never going to I'm never going to forget. I'm always going to remember 2020. There's not going to be a being that's going to forget 2020. I chose to get on that bus, to have everything taken from underneath my feet so that I would fall on my tush. And in the falling on my tush, I would remember how to stand up again. And with every movement towards standing up, I would be learning and I would be healing and I would be expanding. Sure, I'll be crying, I'll be cursing, I'll be moaning, I'll be complaining, I'll be writing in my journal, I'll be purging the energy out, I'll be moving physically through exercise, I'll be calling in guides if I'm aware, and you're all here, so you're aware, you all have guides. That I'll be calling them in and they'll be helping me along the way. I'll be remembering to call them in. And you decided to get on that I'm going to do it all at once, here and there and everywhere bus, because I know that's going to make the biggest impact in this physical life's experience, and it would remove a whole bunch of things, making way for more of the me to come through. And in doing so, I will invite a whole bunch of things to be my reward moving forward. I had one woman who I was working with, who I work with very closely, and it was like everything was going crazy. Nothing was lining up. She was really being trusted by the universe. Her guides were very insistent. She thinks she's being broken. We're making her. She thinks she's cracking. We are enlightening her. She thinks that she is unworthy. We are blessing her. She's judging the ways in which the universe works on her behalf. She can't do that. She mustn't do that. She need not do that. And she purged, and she journaled notebooks upon notebooks upon notebooks, and she cried and cried some more. And then things started shifting once she asked for signs. She said, listen, I'm going to follow the guidance. I'm just going to listen to what Jackie's saying because it can't get worse. I hope it doesn't get worse. What else do I have to lose? I'm going to ask. So she began asking for signs, white feathers. This woman didn't just find white feathers. She found white birds full of white feathers. One after another, sign after a sign, opportunities started coming her way. Things that she had been struggling with for months on end are changing. And here's the thing. Sometimes these things change just like that. Complete pivot, all done. We think we want those things, but then when those things shift, happen, all done. We're like, really? For real? Like, are you sure? Like, just like that, it's done. I went through months and months and months and months and months, and just like that, it's done. Okay, okay, but really? I worried, lost sleep, didn't eat, made myself sick, and just like that, it's changed? Yes. The universe says, absolutely. That's the power for which we have. It's the power for which your purging allows. And then there's more things that started coming her way. New opportunities, new ways of creating money and bringing money in. But when we are not allowing ourselves to step back and look at all of it, we're not tallying it up. You're having a dark night experience, but you're not looking at where the light's been coming in. You're still focused on it was a dark night experience. When the universe starts to shift and pivot, yeah, well, it's a dark night experience. Like, we have to remember, we've asked for light to come our way. It's here. Go there. Yeah, but I cried. It doesn't matter. You're done. Over that. That was yesterday. Go there. Oh, but you don't understand. Yes, I do. I understand. And we need to go over here, please. Because if you keep going over there, you're going to go back there. You don't want to go back there. Oh, no. Okay, let's go over here, please. Take my hand. Follow me. Come on. You want to make sure you're on this path right here towards illumination. Opportunities after opportunities after opportunities. Mass amounts of opportunities. And this was within a week and a half. A week and a half of boom, boom, boom. It can happen just like that. Now, the purpose of a dark night also, if we're having multiple ones, is to show us that we can get used to the rhythm. By used to the rhythm, I mean trusting in ourselves more, building confidence in ourselves more, recognizing that if I've gone through that, I can do whatever more, having a bigger burst of energy come in because it will, because you're never done healing, and knowing, oh, wait, I've seen this before. This is one of those dark night things she's talked about. Went through one before. I was enlightened at the end. I'm going to focus on the enlightenment. I'm going to play it differently this time. This time I won't completely stop eating, stop talking to people. I won't isolate myself. You know, there's still going to be tears that you can't control. There's still got to be journaling pages. Okay, that I can't control. But I'm going to be looking at this from a more empowered place of, I've been here before. I've dealt with this before. I've healed through this before. I can do this again. No problem. I can do this again. All right, I'm holding on for dear life, but I can do this again. I know I can do this again. I've done this before. I can do this again. I've done this before for myself. No one came to help me. No one was supposed to help me. No one's going to come help me now. I can do this for myself. I've done this before for myself. I can do this for myself again. I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. What happens after we've done this? Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. We begin to become resilient. And the more resilient we become, the quicker these experiences take place, happen, and shift. Take place, happen, and shift. Take place, happen, and shift. We're no longer having things take place. Oh my God, this is happening for forever. And a while later, shift. So the more you embrace the healing journey you're here for as well, the quicker things will start happening, shifting, happening, and shifting. You all hold more power than you give yourself credit for. You all hold more power than your ego allows you to take credit for. The spirit within you knows its power. The spirit within you is always aligned to the power that it possesses to create, to manifest, to heal. It knows. It's never questioning it. Because it just is what it is. A duck is a duck. You can't transform it into a goose. A duck is a duck. Sometimes it looks like a zebra. Nope. A duck is a duck. Your inner being is your inner being. It is aligned. It is well-being. It is blissful. It is abundant. It is worthy. These dark nights help us see just how much control we've allowed our egos to have. And they allow the inner being to shine through. See, if you think about yourself as a flashlight, I like to do this sometimes. I'm a flashlight. The more I let my inner being shine through me, the more light I have before me to see my journey, to impact the lives of others, to witness my abilities, to step into more, to travel through some other dark nights of the soul. You are a flashlight. How bright is your bulb? If you feel it's not so bright, you can go inward and do the healing work necessary to move beyond what's not serving you. And fear does not serve you. Stress and worry and anxiety doesn't serve you. I was fearful long enough and everything changed. Signing autographs here below. Like, no. No one ever was so stressed out that everything took place because of the stress. It just doesn't make sense. People become so stressed out that they either have an opportunity to just surrender and to throw their hands up and decide they want more and shifts happen. Or the universe comes in and goes, okay, she's been fighting this long enough. Here's a physical thing, symptom, ailment, oops. And now you're laid up and you have to take a break because you haven't taken a break. That now you can't work because you had bed rest or you've got time off, or you need to take some time to do something physical, doctor's orders. You don't need a doctor to order you to rest. You have permission. You are the authoric figure in your world. You do not need to compare yourself to those outside of you. Work, hustle, and stay up with them. You could actually gain momentum and get further ahead by self-caring, by self-loving, by charging your batteries, aka energetic work, and by taking rests. Much farther. Much farther. Crazy light years ahead. But see, many egos are like, I don't believe that. I need that to be proven, please. Can you write that down, sign it, and send it over? That's not how life works. That's not how life works. And there's never a wasted moment. There's never a wasted opportunity. I could look back on my dark night of the soul and go, whoa. Had I had to learn that again, I would not have sat there that long, putzing around in a victim energy of, oh, woe is Jackie. Everything's happening to Jackie. Oh my God. God hates me. But you see, if I didn't have that experience, I wouldn't know today what I know today. I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have those experiences. I don't regret them. I no longer judge them. I accept them. And I know now when they come my way, I'm tuning in, tapping in, turning on. Yesterday was a very prime example. Yesterday, I've been so excited to launch a new platform, course platform, and offering free webinar, having all these amazing folks sign up and opt in, and got the times were totally mixed up. I was going at 10:30, everybody was showing up at 10. I was going to be late. The old me way back would have just totally checked out, totally freaked out, totally went dark, totally went dry, and might not have even showed up at all. But this space could have been what sabotaged my whole new project, new experience, new excitement thing that's happening. Or it could be an opportunity to remember how human you are. And yesterday's webinar was all about personal power. Well, how about that? We got into the webinar with new content, literally 6 minutes prior. New content. How to remember that you're human and that things happen. Was it disappointing? Sure it was. Did I get some not so nice emails? Sure I did. But at the end of the day, I'm human. I'm human and I will make mistakes. How I deal with those, how I stay in my power through those, that's what's everything. That's what's everything. How I respond rather than react to those, it's everything. And we carry on. When you just sit in the idea for a moment that the purpose you came here to make is so big that you don't have time to judge yourself, to knock yourself, to, critique yourself. You have to keep moving. There will be stumbles. There will be whoops is around the ways, but it's all good. Each and every experience teaches you more about you. Wow, I've come a long way. That would have completely went a different way if this was years ago. I am proud of myself for the way I showed up. I'm proud of myself for the way I hold my space. I'm proud of myself for acknowledging that, hey, I make mistakes. That happens. We really start to hold our own space this way as well. There's a lot of mentors that will use lines like, and tapping, I think, is where this comes from. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but even though I mix the times on my webinar, I love and accept myself. Even though there's some frustrated people because I mix these schedules up, I still love and accept myself. The more that we can say to ourselves, even though I'm having a rough day, I still love and accept myself. It's not letting us off the hook, but it is letting us off an energetic hook that's more heavy, more anxious. It's saying that I'm remembering I have to be gentle with myself. I have to accept that I can't be anyplace else. I have to accept that even though I accept the times, I can't do anything about that. I love and I accept myself. I carry forward. I keep it moving. My purpose is much more important than a stumble and mixing up of a time. What I have to share is so much more important to get out than mixing up a time and getting down on myself. The dark night of the soul is an opportunity for you to self-examine, personally develop, and transform. That's what a dark night of the soul is. Some experience it for a day or 2 or 3. Some experience it for months. Some experience it for a lot longer than that. It is all in how you decide to show up for it. You can work through it. You can heal through it. You can move through it. Get up the next day. You can work through it. You can move through it. You can heal through it. Get up the next day. I feel better. Working through it. I'm healing through it. I'm moving through it. And before you know it, things shift, they change, and they transform. These dark nights, they don't break us. They make us. They make us more. They make us more of the soul that we are in physical form. They make us more of the mentors we came here to be, the coaches we came here to be, the teachers we came here to be, the healers we came here to be. We can't relate to people and teach people if we haven't had experiences. These things we go through so we can share. You can't hold space for someone that's going through a dark night of the soul if you refuse to go through your own, ignoring it, sweeping it under the carpet. It's giving way to victim energy. It's always happening to me. There is so much more power that you possess, and stepping into it more and more and more allows you to see the support of your soul, higher self, Holy Spirit, inner being. It allows you to see the support of the angels, the support of the guides, the support of the ascended masters, the support of Source itself. It helps you remember that you're connected. It helps you remember that you're tapped in and tuned on all the time, that you can get the guidance that you need. It's powerful stuff. It's not for the faint of heart, but there's no one here that if they saw what comes from a dark night of the soul wouldn't go through it. But see, there was no answer key. There was no booklet, period. There's no answer key. And even those that are tuned in, tapped and turned on and do these works with other people can see someone's potential, can see what's coming for them when they go through the dark night of the soul. My guides won't show me. Oftentimes things that are heavy or things that are really big for me to heal and move through, I don't get the answers in advance. What would the purpose of this life's journey for me be then? Does it suck? Sure. Yeah. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. A journaling prompt for you guys today, because you know I'm about it. Where have I experienced my dark night? And how has it transformed my life? That's something that I want you guys to ponder.